Hey everyone, my name is Sion Hamilton and I'm a registered dietitian based out of Manitoba. I'm super excited to be offering a few Q&A sessions throughout the month of December, and I'm really looking forward to sharing some tips and ideas with you about eating well and how we can best nourish ourselves. I'm going to dive into the first few questions today, and I'm really looking forward to hearing about what you'd like to learn about next. What is the one best piece of advice you can give someone who is trying to eat healthy on a budget? Well, there are many ways you can eat healthy on a budget, but one of my very favorite tips is to take advantage of the frozen aisle. Buying frozen fruits and vegetables is a really great way that you can save money without sacrificing the taste or nutritional quality of your food. Fruits and vegetables are actually frozen at peak ripeness, which means that the vitamin and mineral content may actually be even higher than that of the fresh options in the grocery store. How cool is that? Another amazing way to eat healthy on a budget is to start incorporating more plant-based protein options like beans, legumes, and lentils. These plant-based sources are not only amazing for our health, but are also so much more cost-effective than purchasing and consuming meat with every single meal. Start with Meatless Monday or opt for prepping vegetarian lunches throughout the week and go from there. Next question is, what simple things can people change to make their daily diet healthier? This is a great question. So many of us are constantly looking for simple or easy ways to improve our eating habits or just simply feel better. The thing is that most people already know exactly what they need to do to feel better, but get stuck really putting these healthy habits into practice. Starting with small, simple changes will help you progress towards a healthy lifestyle overall. And the best way to build these lasting, lifelong habits is to actually consider the steps that might lead up to your new healthy behavior change. For example, maybe your goal is to drink a tall glass of water in the morning before you make your breakfast. Imagine how much easier it would be to make that happen each and every day if you left out a clean glass next to your water jug the night before. Or get your blender ready to go on the counter so that you're prompted or reminded right away first thing in the morning to make that smoothie that you're planning to try. Eventually, you may even be inspired to prep entire meals or snacks in advance so that these habits are set into motion with even more ease. Seriously, I have seen the magic of this happen. When my husband Patrick and I were in university, he used to, without fail, get a frying pan out, spatula, smoothie cup, plate, and cutlery, and set it out on the counter every night before bed. You better believe that each and every day, Patrick made himself fresh scrambled eggs and a smoothie without fail. He was set up for success, and it made a world of difference by just prepping a few simple things the night before. Our next question is, in your experience, what do you find most people are lacking in their diet? Another great question. I commonly find that quite a few people are lacking sufficient fiber from their diet. And the good news is that there are so many ways to enjoy fiber daily. Think oats, flax seeds, lentils, beans, leafy greens or roasted vegetables, sweet potatoes, apples, bananas, berries, and the list goes on and on and on. Aiming for a few of those higher fiber sources daily if possible will help you reach your fiber goal and is sure to make you start feeling a lot more regular and your GI tract a lot healthier. The next question is, what is the best way to incorporate more vegetables into your daily meals or routine? We want to make vegetables a no-brainer, and you'll find what works best for you through experimentation in the kitchen. So don't be afraid to add extra veggies into soups, pasta sauce, stir fries, casseroles, or even smoothies. Think of a few ways you can boost your favorite recipes, with everything you already have, just by adding in extra vegetables to those same recipes. Even adding frozen broccoli to a can of soup can go a long way. So there's lots of changes that we can make, even to the same exact meals that we're already eating, and just throw those vegetables in. And right now I'm loving soups, so adding in those vegetables right into the soups, like those things from the frozen aisle, whether it's frozen broccoli or maybe even a bag of those mixed vegetables that you can get from the frozen aisle right into a big pot of soup can really boost the vegetable content of it without having to have a big side salad or a ton of raw veggies with every meal. Right now it's winter time here in Manitoba, so I think we're all feeling like we could use a few more cozier meals and feel warmer. So the more that I can incorporate those vegetables into hot dishes, I find it's the easier that I end up getting enough vegetables throughout the day. The next question is, do alternative protein sources such as chickpeas, lentils, and tofu provide enough protein for the average person? It is definitely possible to get enough protein through these plant-based alternatives. Of course, this will depend upon each individual's personal health history and unique needs, but there are many people who opt to live a vegetarian or vegan lifestyle who do indeed reach their daily protein intake with these types of sources. One thing to consider is that the protein in these types of sources is not as biologically active as animal sources of protein, which means that they might not be absorbed the same way that an animal source would. You may also need to supplement with B12 or iron if you do choose to solely consume plant-based forms of protein, so you'll want to be sure to ask your doctor or a dietitian if supplementation may be necessary based on your unique levels. How does Canada's new food guide help people with their eating habits? So Canada has a new food guide that was recently released about a year ago, and it has an incredible amount of valuable information that you can find online now. And I just included a picture of what that new snapshot looks like, although if you do go online, there's a ton of information that you can explore there too. So the new version of the guide acts as a great reference for how we can fill our plates, and you guessed it, it places the emphasis on vegetables and fruit. The guide encourages Canadians to fill half their plates with bright colored, tasty, non-starchy veggies, a quarter of their plate with a high quality protein source, which could be from an animal or a plant-based source, and the remaining quarter with unprocessed whole grains or starches. And often people will ask me about that specific corner of the plate on the food guide snapshot and whether or not potatoes fit within the grains category or our fruits and vegetables category. I know on the food guide we do have some sweet potatoes depicted in the bottom corner of that plate on the non-starchy side, but typically I would include potatoes to be the same as a grain or starch. So if we were having potatoes or sweet potatoes with our meal, I would put that in the grains corner. The cool thing about the new food guide is that it includes many additional topics to explore online, including being mindful of your eating habits, cooking more often, enjoying your food, and eating meals with others. The new guide also shares information on how to use food labels, recommends that we limit foods that are higher in sodium, sugars, or saturated fat, and even provides a section on being aware of food marketing. So you can definitely see that there's a ton of new information that they've added to the food guide, and I think they've done a really great job at addressing a lot of the other components that go into creating healthy meals, not just the what, but also the when and the how, and also celebrating the fact that, nutrition is not necessarily linear, right? We use food to celebrate, we eat meals with others. There's such a social component to food and how we enjoy it. So I really, really appreciate that aspect that's been added into the new guide. And there are also many recipes featured online to try and share as well. And you can access all of this information at food-guide.canada.ca. It's really fun to click around and explore many of the topics that I listed here, but even more you'll see come up there. There's even advice about certain life stages, healthy eating in school and in daycare through the younger years, So it's a great source for families to go to, or just the average person looking for other tips on how to be more mindful or healthier overall. Well, thanks so much for listening to my very first Q&A. Do you have any other questions about nutrition? I would love to hear what you guys would like to learn about next. All right, see you next time. Bye.